We're born on this wonderful planet called Earth. Wonderful to certain people. But let's say you're born a gamer. Roughly a lot of the population of this world is a gamer. But let's say you are a console gamer and you want to spice your variety of console up. You want to put that hot sauce to where your wallet is. Weird expression, okay? But you want to make that console a great buy. You want a special edition console. Now let's start. What do I mean by special variation or edition console? This is basically a console that looks different from your average console. Wow. Very interesting stuff. This can even range from just a different color variation to a whole gold-plated Wii owned by Queen Elizabeth II. Crazy stuff, huh? Our first console variation, back to the gold-plated Wii, was owned by Queen Elizabeth II. Well, it would be owned if they did accept mail at the Buckingham Palace. I can imagine a lot of fan mail would be coming to the Buckingham Palace, but they don't accept fan mail because they probably have enough. They're rich. Who knows? Oh, it's also because there's bombs. Yeah. Let's not get off on a tangent here. Why might the Queen Elizabeth need a gold-plated Wii? Well, it was basically owned by Wii Big Games. Well, this was actually a stunt made by a lot of companies to try to make the Wii Sports Series lines of games with the WII as the name of console, but they spelled the WE as in the actual word Wii. So, basically what they would do was that they'd put that on, and this game actually made the company go bankrupt, along with the terrible marketing stunt of making that Wii console. But I'll put a picture of it on the screen right now. Now let's get more of a second, more popular console, such as the Pokemon Nintendo 64 with Pikachu on it. This was a variation console, one of the big ones of Nintendo 64, but also one of the rare ones. Now, this console was a very popular console for collectors, but it was also very expensive. Now, it can go from $1,000 from my sources. Crazy, huh? Coincidence? I think not. Now, why might this not be so much of a coincidence after all? Well, maybe it's because the Pokemon is very big in the 90s, so why could it not be a coincidence? Possibly because it sold poorly due to not having a lot of stock, making it very popular for collectors, but not so much your average consumer. Now, let's start off with another rare console. I think we should go with, the Cuphead Xbox One. I don't know a lot about this console, to be honest, but I still thought it'd be cool to include. Why? Well, the console just looks really cool. The console has the devil on it from Cuphead, obviously, Mugman, and Cuphead himself. This console is actually also pretty rare. I thought I would just include this real quick, even though I don't know much about it, thinking it looks really cool, thinking you guys might like it too. Roll the picture. Here's another console I think you guys might like. Do you guys like Star Wars? I personally do. Let's say we wanted a Star Wars Xbox 360 that makes, get this, R2-D2 sounds. It looks like R2-D2 and is very cool. Now, this is actually a console that's very sought after. Personally, I think it's actually an amazing console that deserves a lot more people to have. But obviously with most of these consoles, limited consumer value and low stock leads to less profit and buying of the console. Partially, the biggest cool factor about this console just simply was the fact that it made R2-D2 sounds, it looked like R2-D2, and it was just very cool overall. This console, I easily think is a 10. I haven't been ranking the consoles, but I think this one deserves to be the best and most well-deserving on this list. Next up, we have a very different one and a very weird one. Here we have 5 South Park 3 Xbox 360 consoles with the theme of Xbox 360 consoles. That was a very limited release, but very cool in itself. These were only 5 of them released in a console, given to artists who are fans of South Park. And I think this is a great way. As a person who also loves South Park, I think it's a very great opportunity. But yeah, the South Park console is a great way of bringing the South Park community together, as long as people who like South Park and Xbox 360. Granted, it was not very popular, but it was still a great thing for memory and to think. And hey, it also brought us a very rare but very cool Xbox 360. Now, unlike most of the other consoles I've shown you, they were not actually able to buy. This one, like I said, was only available in competition. But you can technically buy it on online auctions. Very rarely, though. And I don't think you'll be able to get it anytime soon. Sorry to break it to you. But maybe you will get it. Who knows? Next up, we have a console similar to the South Park one. We have a Simpsons console. I actually don't know the origins, and I could not find anything on the origins of this console. But I do know for a fact that it does exist, and it's a very interesting console. I think it's a very cool console with Homer's head on it. I've always wanted to visit Universal Studios Simpsons Land, and I feel like it would honestly be really cool if this is included there. Granted, it is not, but I think it's still a very cool console. And it's another rare one, so I wouldn't expect to get it anytime soon. But I still think it's enjoyable to see, and I wish there was a video online of someone showing it. I wonder if it had different sound effects, just like this Star Wars Xbox 360 console. Next up, we have a console. This is the Nintendo Animal Crossing New Horizons Nintendo Switch. A very recent and well-known one, but I thought I'd still put it on this list for showing how much people and scalpers can go on just to try to get a game console. This happened with the newest generation of consoles, the PS5, Xbox Series X, and weirdly enough, the Animal Crossing New Horizons Nintendo Switch. I think this is a very unique thing, and it showed a lot about what people will do for a console. Even there is a video of someone making their own, and it looked very accurate. But let's get on and show what this console did look like. Next up, we have a special edition Incredibles GameCube. This is practically just with Mr. Incredible on it, though, in iconic Incredible colors. Incredibles is a Pixar movie now owned by Disney, but most people know what it is, so I'm not really going to go in depth on what it is. Let's get to the console, though. This console is a very unique console with different designs that looks very colorful, but the console's, once again, just a regular GameCube, just a different design on it. But it's still very cool and very rare. Once again, it was also made available in a contest. Next up, our last console on this list. Next up, we have the SpongeBob Game Boy Advance SP. This is our only handheld console on the list, but I still think it's a very cool console. Now, this kind of holds personal connections too, because I actually own this console, and I think it's very cool. I remember playing SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, the Game Boy Advanced version, as it is one of those games of that generation of game consoles that have multiple different versions of the game to release. But back to the console itself. This console was very interesting. Obviously, just pure SpongeBob SquarePants from the iconic Nickelodeon cartoon, but you probably already know enough about that. I think it's a very cool console. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Goodbye. Make sure to like and subscribe if you actually enjoyed it. and keep watching.